All right, so we're going back to sigma notation. All right, which simply means the sum. So now our focus is on that one there. Now, when you look at that one right at the term, there is infinity. So it's sum to infinity. So it says, for which values of x will this thing exist? It doesn't matter. They just, so in other words, when I do the sum to infinity, remember, yesterday I told you about the what you call. I told you about sum to infinity, because with the sum to infinity, they tell you for which values of this will x, whatever. I said you can do the ratio or find the values of x. Don't worry here. Here's what we're going to do now. Here's what's going to happen. So let's remove that one. So here you need to create your first three terms again. So your first three terms, you're starting with the 1. You put 1 outside the bracket. Then the first bracket, the first term, I'm going to put it in brackets. You've got 4x minus 1. Close the parenthesis. Allow me to shift it just a little bit above there. I'm going to put it above there. Then you say plus. When you put 2 here, so the next one that you've got 4x minus 1 squared. Then the next one is going to be 4x minus 1 to the power of 3, and so on and so on. Now, this is asking you to converge, because for the sum to infinity to exist, it must be convergence. So I told you this. So in other words, let's change the question. For which value of x will this thing converge? How do I know converge? Because they put infinity sign there. Sum to infinity, its other name is the sum of convergence. That's what it is. So they are not using the word convergence, but they're using it symbolically. So I told you for it to converge, so that means the R should lie between -1 and 1. We actually showed it here, there. So find the ratio and then you're good to go. So let's do the ratio. The ratio, we need the second term, which is that one, divided by the first. So R will be second term, which is 4x minus 1 squared. You've seen this already. And then divided by 4x minus 1 to the power of 1. So the exponent 2 and 2, they cancel. So you are left with just 4x minus 1. So the 4x minus 1, it's your R. But you must put it here between -1 and 1. So let's go do it to the other side. So we are going to say -1 less than the R, which we know it's 4x minus 1 less than the 1. But at the end here, we must end up with x, like how you solve equation. -1 must be transposed that side, -1 must be transposed that side. It's going to change the sign. So if I show you what's happening, it's a -1. When it goes either side, it becomes a plus. That means you got plus -1 less than, in the middle, the -1 is gone. You're left with 4x. The other side, you've got 1 and then plus the 1. Well, this one is 0 there. So you now have 0 less than the 4x less than, the other side is 2. But remember, you must end up with 4 here. I'm sorry, you must end up with x. So I'm going to do that. So I have to divide by positive 4 every side. Divide by this. Since I'm using positive 4, the inequality will not reverse. So 0 divided by 4 is still 0, less than x less than 2 divided by 4 is 1 over the 2. So this is your answer, which tells you the value of x to be chosen should be any number between 0 and half in order for this to converge. That's what it's telling you. All right, so I want to give you the last